Boom. Here we go on to aggression. Hurting others, where does it come from? All right? It's one of those social behaviors, probably not our greatest one, but boy, do we find it everywhere. We find the sweetest little old lady can become mega aggressive. I don't know why I'm thinking about it. I'm a terrible person, but I'm thinking about Victoria Austin, who was on the airplane, and the airline, they put her into coach, and she freaked out and started hitting the flight attendant and smacking her around because she couldn't believe that she had to sit in coach. That's aggression. Woo! Anyway, Victoria Austin, you don't know who that is. So whatever. One of my favorite things to do on the internet is to find some article and then to go underneath the article and look at the people's comments, all right? They're usually kind of silly, but sometimes you get some very interesting insights, okay? Because people's insights are not necessarily the same as textbook insights. And I'll tell you, there's two truths in the world. In fact, here's a good social psychology lesson for you. There's the truth of the world, and there's what you believe is true. In your mind, which is more important? Okay? What you believe is true is more important than what is actually true. That's what marriage is all about. Trust me on this. So, this is copy and paste. So, when the grammar is all funky and shit like that, I didn't do it. All right? I'm just reading it to you. I want to know why people fight. I think it's because they are bored, jealous, or just want to look hard. What do you think? Why do people fight? Well, at my school, loads of people fight. Say, like your best friend stops talking after their friend just attacks you and your brother for no reason, too. And you don't know why. You would feel angry, mad, and sad, and you talk to her on the first day back, and she acts weird to you and turns around and starts talking to someone else. What would you say? I don't know what the hell that's even saying, do you? That's aggression. Because this girl has been saying that I have been peeing her off. And also, I have been annoying and self-centered. When I asked all my friends about it, and they said no. Should I leave her in the dusts or not? I swear, copy and paste. All right, that's our educational system. I reckon if people treat you like crap, then you just write them out of your life. Forget they ever meant anything to you. But don't be a bitch about it. People change. It's a part of life. She probably doesn't realize she's being such a bitch. That's aggression for you. Here's some other ones about school violence. Okay? Well, here, why are people so aggressive? And this was a poll that I found somewhere online. 71 people responded. They don't think about others. Yeah, they're selfish. They think you're in their way. In other words, they have a goal to achieve, and you're in their way, and so aggression is a way to get you out of their way. They have their rights, and they need to take them aggressively if you don't take your rights aggressively. That's interesting. If you just wait along for somebody to give you something, it may never happen. But if you just go out and take it, they weren't taught the golden rule. Oh, that's interesting. Bad parenting, huh? Some people are just selfish. They want what you want. They think they are better than you. They're just mean. They're materialistic, and they want to get ahead. Some interesting responses here, though I think there's a bit of overlap between them. First, I'm sure that those who are violent in school are also violent outside of school. Secondly, most people don't even want to be in school due to fear of bullies, violence, or just being caged in. Is that true? Shit, I guess it depends on the school district, right? That's the most important part about my job when I bought my house, was to make sure my kids were in a good school district, and I guess that's what good means. This makes it so hard for the students who actually want to learn and make something of themselves. It also makes it difficult for teachers. It's really frustrating to teach a bunch of kids who have no desire to be there. Alcohol, drugs, and violent homes could be the reasons that some kids are violent in school. Interesting notion. This recognition that, in fact, it is bad parenting. Having no ambition, just waiting for the day they are old enough to quit could be another. Some people just don't like getting up in the morning. So that's why there's school violence, because people don't want to get up in the morning? I don't know. It's insight. Whatever. There should be... No. You read it. It was pretty clever, though. Okay. So what is aggression by the textbook definition? Physical or verbal behavior intended to cause harm. This is interesting. If I walk past you and I step on your foot by accident, it's not aggression. I step on your foot, I break your toe. It's an accident. It's not aggression. I stomp on your foot, I didn't break your toe, but I did it on purpose. It is aggression. You dig it? I mean, it's the intent. And so it's a very difficult thing to break apart. And by definition, aggression is kind of, it can be a bad thing or a good thing if you talk about an aggressive salesperson. An aggressive salesperson is something. Clearly, before we get into anything, because of course one of the biggest things to talk about is nature and nurture. Where does aggression come from? Is it the culture you grow up in and the home you grow up in, or is it just who we are? And here is war-related deaths over the centuries. I mean, it's got a little, you know, but look at that. We've invented brand new ways to commit aggression. However, it's not just us. This is a very interesting one. One afternoon in January 1974, a group of 8 chimps in the Gombe National Park in Tanzania formed a fighting party and traveled south. They appeared to take pains to maintain silence and stealth as they traveled toward the border of their usual home range. They crossed the border, blah, blah, blah. A short distance away was Godi, a young male, roughly 21 years old, who was feasting peacefully on the ripe fruit of a tree. Godi usually ventured out for food with his comrades, but on this day was alone. By the time Godi spotted the 8 trespassers, they had already reached his feeding tree. He made a mad dash to elude them, but they gave chase, caught up with him, and tackled him by grabbing his legs. Humphrey, one of the leading chimps in the fighting party, pinned down Godi's limbs, holding him immobile while the others gathered around. With his face pushed into the dirt, and the other males attacked in a frenzy of screaming, charging, biting, and striking. They looked like a gang of human adolescents beating up a lone victim who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. After 10 minutes of pummeling and biting stopped, and Godi watched as his attackers left to return to their home. Godi bled from more than a dozen wounds, his body a bruised mess from the vicious attack. They never saw Godi again. He didn't die immediately, but it seems pretty likely he was dead in a few days. So it's not just human beings. We can talk about culture. We can talk about nature. There's clearly some nature there, okay? Men are aggressive bastards. We can talk about aggression and multiple types of aggression. Hostile aggression driven by anger, okay? It's mostly, hostile aggression is, let's say, emotional aggression. It's more bang, yeah, hot aggression, there we go, that's the word for it. Most murders are hot aggression. They're not planned, they just happen. The aggression is a snap, you know, I'm really bang, and the aggression is the point. Instrumental aggression is aggression in which the point is to get something else, which is really what terrorism is. Terrorism is a strategic tool to get something else. Very, very tricky for us here in America having this war on terror because we in America aren't really sure what it is that they want, okay? That they are using instrumental aggression as a means to another end. If we in America knew what the end was, maybe it's something we could give them. Maybe we could give them what they want and they would be happy. But we don't know. We don't know what it is that would end it. And they won't tell us. Okay? I think somebody needs to take that into account. We'll never win the war on terror if we don't know what they want. Okay? It's much more cool, you know, much more strategic, much more rational. And of course, emotional aggression. Aggression that is intended to cause psychological harm, which really sounds like these girls here. I guess, I don't know if these are girls, but boy, they sound like girls. Whoo, boy. I'm thinking about Mean Girls. Swear to God, I got to watch that movie someday. So, an instinct, right, is simply an innate, unlearned behavior pattern exhibited by all members of a species. There is a wide variability in aggression from culture to culture. I mean, though, again, I mean, here's our stereotype. Men are more physically aggressive than women. There's a truth to that. But it changes from culture to culture, and it changes from individual to individual. But, you know, aggression is a very evolutionary adaptive strategy because it helps us to, you know, helps you to gain resources, right? It's like this. I could either A, make myself a spear and get really good with a spear and go out and hunt a deer and wait in the woods, or I could wait for that stupid Alfred to come out of the woods with his deer, smash him in the head with my club, and take his deer. Problem solved, okay? It's a quick way to solve a problem. You can be obviously used for defense or to secure mates, as it is done in many animal species, but it's also sometimes used from an evolutionary sense to deter infidelity, in particular infidelity of you know how it goes. So some people believe that war and violence exists, right? It basically goes like this. It's just such a simple thing. You have a deserted island. There's one woman and there's two men. Who gets the girl? The biggest man. That's it. Whichever man is more aggressive is going to get the girl. That is a fact. Okay? Given this simple scenario, and we know from chapter whatever and our genetics knowledge that babies tend to resemble parents. So the more aggressive male is more likely to get the woman. Yep. And children tend to resemble parents. Yep. Now flash forward 20,000 generations, and what do you find? Us. The product of 20,000 generations of selection for aggression. Okay? Some aggression probably occurs because there was times in our past with scarce resources, just like there was with the giraffe and the stretching of the neck. When there's scarce resources, who gets the resources? The most aggressive one. Not only that, but as I already said, humans are lazy. We tend to take the path, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The shortest distance between being hungry and eating dinner is smashing Alfred in the head as he walks out of the woods. Just steal his dinner. Why should I work hard? Okay? Just steal his dinner. All right, so some of the different reasons that we might perhaps, be aggressive. Where was I? Steal others' resources, defend ourselves, inflict cost on intrasexual rivals. Oh yeah, get them out of there. Give me the girls, right? Negotiate status and power hierarchies. It's very interesting. Men that are skillful in battle, or whatever that might mean, or skillful in sports, if that's where you want to put it, tend to rise higher on the social hierarchy. And it's an interesting notion that men would do this, but in many, many societies, boys from the very earliest age, they establish their hierarchy based on fighting ability. Who can wrestle who and who can tackle who. And they create a social hierarchy from the earliest ages. And not only that, but it's a way to make sure that your rival doesn't aggress against you in the future. Because if, it's like you're the alpha male in a troop of monkeys. There's a male under you. You beat the crap out of the male under you. You've done multiple things. You've made sure that the male under you does not try to take your position, and you've demonstrated to all the other males that if I can take out the number 2 male, I can take you as well. Okay? So it definitely deters rivals from aggressing against you. It allows you to sleep, basically, right? How can you sleep at night if you're worried about everybody else attacking you? Or to deter long-term mates from sexual infidelity. Very interesting. We find that spousal violence is highest in cases where the woman has a higher status position than the man, or whereas the man is unemployed. Okay? And what's really interesting is, the best prediction, this is really funky, the best predictor of spousal aggression, spousal violence, or in particular husband-on-wife violence, is the number of male relatives of the wife that live close by. Right? You do not want to be messing with your wife if her 4 big brothers are living down the block, right? So it's an interesting holdout from evolutionary theory. We'll stop there. We'll finish up some more on this stuff in a minute.